Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before I get started, the housekeeping notes, all the product I'm using and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you'd like to purchase any of these products. There is my email address if you'd like to answer any questions for you. There's a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and help me grow in YouTube world. Today we're going to be using a new set that is coming out in the mini catalog. It is Pick of the Patch. It is a punch bundle. And you can see all the cute little things and we're going to be using. So we're going to set this off to the side and those. And let me show you what we're making today. There is an envelope, got a little crow on it. And this is a very simple little card we're making. So, let me show you the parts that are in this card, and we'll go from there. Of course, we have an envelope. We have a base of Mossy Meadow that is 11 by 4¼ scored at 5½. We have 2 pieces of Starry Sky that are 5¼ by 4, 2 pieces. And 1 piece of basic white that is 5 by 3¾ You're also going to need scrap of Cajun Craze and scrap white without stuff on it. We won't use that one. So, and the other thing we need is some DSP, which I have not cut. I'm going to do that with you. We are going to be using Them Bones paper, and we're going to use this piece here. I thought it was quite perfect for what we needed. You can use this, I mean, you could use this. The Boo Yeek's really cool on this side too, but I wanted to use this particular piece. And if you line this up, you can see exactly where to cut this one. Just like that. And I'll set that aside, put it away for later. And then I'm going to cut this one off right in the center here as well. Now, this is 12 by 12 paper, so that means these are 6 inch across. We know we need to cut that down. So what we need is a piece that is 5 inches across and 3 3/4 high. So I had to decide where I wanted to take off, you know, my pieces. So I knew I wanted to take a little bit off the side, bottom here. So I'm going to take off, about that much. And you just have to just cut the pieces you want. And then I want just a little bit of that. And then the rest of it, I'm going to take it to 3 3/4 is what I said. And I do cut from the bottom of my trimmer a lot because it's closer to me and I can see the numbers right here. But you put it wherever you'd like. Actually, I'll probably save those because I can use those on something. And then I had to decide where I wanted to cut it. Well, I really wanted to keep that moon in place. So I'm going to cut this end and we're going to take it to 5 inches. And that is the piece we need. Okay, so we need to do some stamping. We need to stamp us a bunch of pumpkins. So let me grab my mat here. Let's do the pumpkins that we need for the outside. So we're going to use this oblong pumpkin. We're going to use the very big pumpkin, which is actually in the punch. It is this one right here. And then we're going to use the itty bitty one, which is not in there. And we're going to do the oblong one in Cajun Craze. And we will have to fussy cut him, but that's okay. Actually, leave that open for a minute. And then we know we're going to punch him out. If I look at him, he's on this side of my punch. So if I put the pumpkin here, I can just cut that and not worry about getting extra page damage. Look at your punches and see where you're going to be cutting out. So we'll put him right there. And then I want a small pumpkin that we'll fussy cut out. Okay, so then we need some pieces that need to be punched out. We need some leaves and some stems, which are right here. Here's the stem, and here the leaf. So when I look at this, I know if I cut right along the bottom, I'm going to get this, and this is at the other end. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and punch out my one and only punched pumpkin out of here I need. So he is out of the way and been punched. Now, these two need to be fussy cut out. I've saved you some work. I've already cut him and his leaves out. So we don't have to do that. But we do need one more leaf and one more stem for the big pumpkin. So I did the stem out of wild wheat. Very close to what pumpkin stems look like, at least mine do right now. And then the Mossy Meadow for our leaf. I'll stick him right here. So these are the pumpkins for the front of our card. So if I reach this in here, you see what's happening here? I'm going to waste a lot of paper, and I don't want to waste paper. I'm going to cut this off this way. And then I'm going to come in here and cut this out. We'll just pretend I already fussy cut all those pumpkins out. And I will keep those for another day. Because by reducing the amount of paper I have in here, I got some big hunks I left I could use. Whoop. So there's our leaf. He's going to join the other two I've already done. And this is right here as our stem. We'll punch him out. So that's the part we're going to do with the punch. So next, also for the front of the card, we need a Happy Halloween. And I want to make sure it's a piece. I'm going to use the oval punch, and I want to make sure that this is a big enough piece of paper. It is. And I'm looking at the punch, and it's at the bottom. So no matter what I do, I'm going to have some wastage. But that's okay. It'll be an oval, and I'll still use it. And let me grab the right stamp here. Happy Halloween. And we're going to do that in pumpkin pie. Right about there. And we're going to go ahead and punch him out. Now, if you're doing what I'm doing and you're sticking your finger inside the punch, make sure that you've pulled your finger away before you punch, because you can really hurt yourself. So there's our Happy Halloween. Well, I've got the punch out. This is the last time I need it. I need a little oval, the big one, out of Cajun Craze. There's that piece. And now we're done with this punch. Okay, so that's all the pieces we need for the outside of the card. For the inside of the card, we need to do some stamping. And we have our piece of white here. And we are going to stamp at the top. Pick of the patch, and that is the most crooked stamp I've ever seen. It's early still. There we go. And make sure I got my pumpkin pie. And let's center that right about there. And also in pumpkin pie, I'm going to do our big pumpkin again. And put him right about here. Now, this pumpkin here is the other one that punches out, but I don't want to punch him out. I'm just stamping him. And I'm going to stamp him in Cajun Craze. Make sure I got that good and covered. Like that. So now we need some stems and some leaves on our, so I have a little stamp here. Get that ink off there. And if you look at it, it's fatter at the one end and narrow at the other. So you can figure that out yourself, I'm sure. And I'm going to put one there. And one there. Now there is another leaf in this set, and I'm going to grab it. I didn't grab it out earlier. There's this one with 3, and then there's one with 2. So let's grab the one with 3 first. And I'm grabbing my Mossy Meadow again. Going to stamp off once this time. And I'm just going to come tucking in right alongside the stem. Like that. And then I'm going to grab my Stampin Scrub real fast because I need to switch out a few stamps. I don't have enough small stamps or blocks for all these small stamps. And so I actually set a few off to the side on a bigger block because I don't want to be stamping with a huge block for tiny little things. So we'll just do a little switch here. And this is the little leaf here. Could you hold on for 1 second? You hear somebody crying. You come on in and be a good girl. Well, come on in. It's Smokey. You be a good girl, or you'll get tossed back out. That's why you weren't in here in the first place. All right. Someone see what I did with the stamp here just a minute ago? I went to let the kitty out and I have misplaced my stamp. That's not good, is it? Well, let me, there it is. Smokey, knock it off. This one I just full strength, but I did not ink up the little stem. I want to get it nice and tucked in there very close. Like that. And that's the end of the green. And then we need some basic black because we need our crow. I want to put a crow right under here, the pick of the patch. And then I'm going to grab, hello, Smokey. Just stay out of the ink, honey. She just jumped up on my desk. Another crow there for that. And then we have one more thing to do. We have to put, this is the one we just punched out for the front of our card. And since it is a Halloween card, I thought he should have a face. And there is a nice face in here. And I'm going to put that right about there. Just like that. Now, I'm going to tell you a hint. I stamped that and I let that purposely sit and dry. I tried this twice before. The pumpkin is quite a dark ink, and if you don't let it sit dry thoroughly before you stamp with black over the top of it, it has a tendency to bleed just a little bit. So let it sit for a minute. Smokey, what are you doing? Are you coming to see all the people? I think she's coming to see all the people. This is Smokey. She smells everything. She's partially blind. She has a very small sight field. So we always have to talk to her, because if we don't, we come up behind her, we startle her. We need to discover, oh, it's okay, honey. You about ready to get off my desk now so I can work? Why don't you show all the people how cute your face is? No? Okay, come on. Come on. Come on, you gotta come down. Here, you go lay down on your blanket. She doesn't usually get up here when I'm working. Okay, so anyhow, yeah, we have to make little concessions and things the way we do things around here, because she has a very small range of sight. She can't see beyond, she can't see up close, really close. And we figured out she can't see for maybe 2 feet in front of her. And beyond that, she cannot see us. I mean, I could sit across the room waving my arms and stuff, and she does not flinch. And she was staring right at me. And how we discovered she had a sight problem is we were playing with the laser light with the kittens about 3 or 4 months ago. And Shasta's going nuts, and Smokey's just sitting there. You could sight a laser light in her eyes, and she doesn't flinch. So that's how we discovered she had a sight problem. But that's okay. She's still special. She was always special. So, anyhow, let's grab our Mossy Meadow and let's get this card built. Enough talking about my kittens. Yeah, they're going to be, speaking of my kittens, they're going to be a year old. They're going to be 1 year old on September 8th. It's hard to believe. Anyhow, this is the inside of my card. Have a nice 1/4 inch border around there. And we'll put that on the inside of the card. Yeah, after my last video, I figured I needed a little shorter video than the last one. I try to keep them under 30 minutes, but every once in a while I get one that's a little longer. Okay, and this is where we're going to put our DSP. And she's happy now. She's laying next to me on her blanket. Okay. So that's the front of our card. Now we have to pick some pieces. Now there was these 2 pieces here, and I told you I was nice and fussy cut them all out prior to the show, which I did. So it's time to assemble some pumpkins now. I'm going to grab my silicone mat. We'll get this one put together. This is easy. It's our little happy Halloween. Okay, and here's the other 2 pumpkins and our stems and 3 leaves. So you can do this several ways, but since I'm putting this up on Dimensionals, I figured I would just turn them over, line everybody up. You could use Scotch tape, or you could just use Dimensionals. but you got to make sure you grab both pieces. And we'll just, then I'll grab a new pack of dimensionals. Smoky, that's my planner. Don't eat it. I have a 5-year planner over here, and she's like that. We'll do the same thing with this guy here. I'm just laying them out here so I make sure I have both pieces. Let me cover all of them. That's that one. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because I'm actually going to put the flower, or this on the outside of this one here. So I'm going to grab a blue dot, if I can find one. And yes, I'm still not pulling paper off here because I said these are the stickiest glue dots in the world. They're supposed to be sticky, but these are a little beyond sticky. I'm going to put this leaf on the front. So I'll put that like that. Then I'll flip it over and put our stem on, coming off this direction a little bit. And that one there. Oh, looks like I had an extra stem. That's okay. I guess I was trying to be prepared. So there's our pumpkins ready to go. Oh, and we better put some dimensionals on this guy. You want to go now. You're going to stay until I'm done now. So I'm going to put this on about like that. I'm going to put this one on here. Now the first one I did not put all on dimensionals. This one I did. That's whatever you want, and I'll show you the other one in a minute. I'm laying this one out just a little bit differently. So you can do that. Now I needed some bling, so I decided for my bling, I was going to grab the bats and ghosts that glow in the dark. And I'm going to use some bats. There's bats already on there, so I thought a couple more bats would be nice. And I'll put 3 bats. So that when they glow in the dark, everybody can see them. So this is today's version. This one is a little different. This one I partially covered up the moon. This one I left the moon exposed. I glued these 2 down. So just 2 different versions of the same card. You can play around with 2 different versions. Do it totally opposite. Do it different. Make the card your own. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on Friday. Everybody have a good day, and thank you.